With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
Welcome back, trackside once again, race fans here to the Turn 3 Racing Network. And tonight, the ASMR, Hauck Designs Xfinity Series, fires things off. Here in season number 9, second time we're going to hit a hot track here tonight, the Bankhead 165. Lay in front of these drivers. Who's going to walk away with the checkered flag? But first, who will walk away with the Premier Racing Setups Pole Award, qualifying just about halfway through? So we're going to get to some of that timing and scoring in just a few moments. 83 degrees here for the fans that begin to fill the stands. Last week's race winner, Clark Janikin, not in attendance here tonight, could not get the hauler here in time, so unfortunately for Janikin, he's not going to be able to try to go back to back, so we'll have a fresh face into victory lane here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. We talked about qualifying. Fast time, top of the board. Quick time belongs to Daniel Jensen behind the wheel of his fast Ford Mustang 3175. The fast time here for Jensen. We're going to go ahead, get rid of that track information. What do you say we drop down some of those qualifying times? Where's your favorite driver at? There you can see Brendan Mathia now going to take the top spot. Oh, wait, 31:68 fast time now belongs to Mathia, sitting in control of the Premier Racing Setup Pole Award. 165 miles in tonight's race, 110 laps. If you're one of the fast drivers with a quick trip number one. In number one at the end of tonight. So as the music fades in the background, you already know the familiarness of how things start off week in, week out, right here with the American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Xfinity Series qualifying. Just about over with about 45 seconds remaining here, and it looks like all 17 drivers with a time lapse, so that's going to do it for qualifying. We're going to hit up a quick commercial break before we head trackside for your national anthem. So there it is. Brendan Mathia will lead us to the green flag as your premier Racing Senate Pole Award winner. Don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly wailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
In backtrack side as the field begins to make their way to the starting grid. Qualifying session already behind us. The Premier Racing Senate Pole Award belongs to Brendan Mathia. That fast number one will bring us to the green flag. Let's get a little closer to the track as drivers get ready to tighten the belts for 110 laps of fast-paced, hard-nosed racing action here at one of the staples in the NASCAR season. Atlanta Motor Speedway tire wear gonna be key. Big known for a very long time. This older Atlanta surface is just known for chewing up the tires. You're gonna have to watch that tire management. You can't rely on that right front too much. Burn it up. You're gonna be pushing way too soon. You're gonna find yourself into the outside wall. So we'll see which one of these drivers is able to not just manage. Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it's managing, so manage not just the tires, but the mental aspect of the race. You gotta learn to give up time, roll out of the throttle a little bit earlier, just to save those right sides. So you gotta put yourself in the right state of mind to be able to get it done. It's a very taxing, very grueling race, and we're gonna see who walks away with the checkered flag for the first time this season behind the wheel of their hot rides in the Bankhead 165. Boss man in the flag stand calling down official word to that pace car. We're gonna get set to roll off of the starting grid here from Atlanta Motor Speedway, and as you can hear with those familiar sounds in the background, you know it's time for us to run down tonight's starting lineup in the Bankhead 165, brought to you by the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinity Series, rolling off inside row number 1 behind the wheel of that number 1 machine, the fast Brendan Mathieu. Just to his outside, the 4 of Daniel Jensen. Back in row number 2, Alan Bledsoe and Nick Barlow. Alex Wiggins, followed by Doug Arterbright back in row number 3, row number 4 here tonight. That's going to belong to Brendan Hartman and Derek Moore. Patrick Coro and Carlos Ramos round out your top 10. Anthony Shook and Zach Miller in row 6. Row number 7 here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway in the Bankhead 165. Inside the 13th position, behind the wheel of the 13 machine. Will it be the lucky number or a nightmare? We're going to find out shortly. Jake Doffy inside row number 7 with Dave Gage just to his outside. Brian Turnowski, Andrew McConville, and Nicholas Wing round out the 17 car field here tonight. Base car ready to tuck off. Music will fade in the background, and we're going to set these beasts on fire, on the gas, and green. Flag flies for the first time here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Two, 3 wide back of the pack, sorting things out. Brendan Mathieu out to a good jump here. Lap number 1, he's going to have about a 6 car length advantage by the time they get back across the stripes. A job well done here in the opening stages for your pole sitter. Let's go back. Let's take a look at this 4 of Daniel Jensen. Started in 2nd, fell back to 4th quickly here. Now that Hot Wheels number 41 of Doug Arterbright. Right behind him, the Toyota Supra looking to get to the front. Oh, bottom of the racetrack, big moment there for the Epsilon Tequila number 4 machine of Daniel Jensen. Big slide out of the corner. That's going to back the field up. The Michigan-sponsored number 33 machine looking to the outside. Listed as the 33, but I believe that may be the 11 of Alex Wiggins. Majority of the field, single file already. Few drivers still electing to go side by side as we cross the start-finish line. Once again, almost contact there between Jensen and Coro. Lieutenant right behind him here. Ramos looking for a way around. Dave Gage going to follow suit. Take a look. The PR Tacos Palace 404 machine. Bottom of the racetrack looking for some positions. Argabright on a move at the front. Let's go back here to that 41 Hot Wheels machine. Lap number 5 on the board. Quickly underway here tonight. We'll drop the time and scoring over there to the left-hand side of your screen. Let you follow along and find your favorite driver in the field here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Lap number 5 about behind us as Bethia continues to open up the advantage at the front of the field. Still side by side here with Wiggins and Coro. Let's keep it right here, guys. Battling for those positions just outside of your top 5. You see Alan Bledsoe going at it with Brandon Hartman as well. So some great battles near the, I don't want to say near the back of the field, but right around from 8th to about 17th. So yeah, the second half of this entire field all right here running all over each other. Take a look at that 90s and that 91 of Patrick Coro. We talked about him last week. We're going to get him again. Look at that thing. You can't tell me that ain't a sexy looking ride. We're going to look at it one more time here. How about, whoa, who's that? My goodness. Can't have a better sponsor than that. I'm just saying. Just saying. We're going to move on. Patrick, we love you, bud. We do appreciate the homage that you give us on the car, the honor to be on board of that 91 here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We'll see if my face is still straight at the end, and then we'll talk about maybe a little funding. Just joking, I have no funds. Side-by-side battle behind him. Let's go back here now. Daniel Jensen was once at the front of the field, started in second, has dropped like a rock, has fallen all the way outside of the top 10, sitting in that 12th position. And if Gage has anything to say about it, he's going to look to the high side to go around here. And you gotta ask yourself, as quickly as Jensen has dropped back to the tail end of this field, yes, we've seen him with the big slide. How much of this is that methodical, mental approach to the race here tonight at Atlanta? Go ahead, give up the speed on the beginning to stretch it out and minimize the overall loss of time. Might be a little bit of something to wrap your brain around, but if you run the same lap time with 30 laps, you can be faster than running all you can in 20. If that makes sense. The tire fall off, the time fall off with the abuse of the tires is going to be that detrimental. We'll see if that's the approach. Lap number 10 on the board as drivers head back across the start-finish line. Lap number 11 now underway. Let's head back to the front. Single file racing here at the front of the field. Nick Burlow sitting in second. You can see right here the 16 of Derek Moore trying to run him down. Doug Argabright worked his way inside of your top 5, sitting in that 4th position. And this has got that long run Atlanta feel to it. Let's take a look here as Brendan Shook looking to the inside. Alan Bledsoe going to keep that tie back. DuPont, iconic 24 to the top side of the racetrack. And for the majority of the, well, my knowledge, right? From being behind the wheel and crew chiefing spotter for a handful of drivers throughout the handful of years that we've been here on iRacing.com. High side, not necessarily where you want to be in Atlanta. You want to kind of ease out of the throttle and cut it down there. Let the car roll just a little bit. Squeeze back in gently all the way to about 3/4 off. Right? You want to carry that about 3/4 off and then begin to get back to the gas. But that was back in, the Lord, I'm going to show my age now, but that was back in my day. These cars, these packages now, maybe a little bit different. But a race car is a race car. You're going to figure it out. Figuring out how to run inside of the top 5 now. Alan Bledsoe looking to take a position away from that 64. High side of the racetrack, the Hilton Honors number 64 going to get stuck to the high side. Position going to be taken away. Hartman slides back to 6th. Move Bledsoe inside of your top 5. Let's check in with our biggest mover of the race here tonight, sitting behind the wheel of that fast Ford Mustang in the 3rd position, the Harbor Freight, number 16. Up 5 positions from where he qualified tonight, so a good run to the front. Already sitting pretty. Oh, Burlow into the outside wall. I believe that is Nick Burlow into that outside wall. Yes, it is. Nick Burlow going to catch a piece of that outside wall. Tough little break there. 16 going to close right in. That's going to bring Argabright, Bledsoe, and Hartman along. Struggling a little bit on the high side. The Hot Wheels 41 going to have some competition. Alan Bledsoe going to look to his inside. Cross the stripe. Advantage to the 41. Close racing action off of 2. Battles for 4th and 5th. Battles for 2nd and 3rd. Burlow under fire from Derek Moore. Alan Bledsoe trying to make something work from the bottom of the racetrack, but being pinched down, not by the 41, just trying to make sure he gets that forward bite up out of the corner, but unable to make the pass for position just yet. Alan Bledsoe doing a fine job running that high line. Oh, looks like we had a little bit of trouble. The back of this field, let's go back here. I believe that may have been. We didn't catch it, so we don't want to call anybody out. Whoa, just as, ooh, that could have been bad. Big moment there for Brian Janowski. All sorts of out of shape, 99 Texaco Havoline machine. Nicholas Wing almost ran him through the front stretch. An amazing job there by both Nicholas Wing as well as the man behind that Casey's General Store number 10 machine, Andrew McConville, with a great heads-up moment off of 4 last time around. We're going to jump back to the front, though. Let's go back here. Once again, Derek Moore able to grab the position away as the Mobile 1 Ford Mustang falls back to 3rd now. Nick Burlow going to be under fire with Argabright and Bledsoe beginning to close in. Back across the start-finish line once again. Lap number 20 going to go on the board. We have been clean and green all night here tonight for the American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. What a way to start the season last week. Clean racing from Auto Club. Tonight we're opening up with another very clean start to the Bankhead. 165 drivers battling for positions near the front, mid-pack, and in the back. You can see still not a solid single file train here tonight. So we're going to begin to jump around, bring you as many battles as we can. The Maverick sponsor number 13 of Jake Dofi, sitting in the 10th position. Has to deal with Zach Miller and Daniel Jensen. He's going to lose 2 positions here as we watch Argabyte cross the line. Lieutenant Carlos Ramos right behind him, trying to reel him in. We'll see if Ramos can't have another good finish here to start things off in season number 9 for the Hauck Designs Xfinity Series right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. Side-by-side action as Burlow under fire once again. And are we seeing, we talked about it earlier, right? We talked about wearing those tires out and the consequences, the repercussions. It looks like Argabyte is having trouble getting to the bottom lane, getting it turned down into 1, into 3. Staying at the top side of the racetrack. Nick Burlow struggling with pace, dropping back through the field. We watched Daniel Jensen go from 2nd all the way back to 14th, now climbing his way back inside of the top 10. Jensen may have been playing a little possum, a little rope-a-dope here in Hampton. Pick your poison, there's action all over. Nick Burlow, Alan Bledsoe going at it. Wiggins and Ramos going at it, 6th and 7th. We've got more battles back behind there. Jensen and Miller going at it, 10th and 11th on the racetrack. Nicholas Wing starting to close in on Doping now for the 12th position. A lot going on deep. Whoa, big moment there. A lot going on deep into this run. 25 laps here in Atlanta Motor Speedway on this old, unique surface. You can see right there, oh, Bledsoe, oh no. 24, all sorts of out of shape on the apron in the corner. That's not where you want to be. Great job of not parking it up against that outside wall, catching the car, walking it up the banking as he worked his way through 1 and 2 there. So a great save, big moment right there for that number 24 of Bledsoe. Great little run behind him. We're going to watch this battle unfold for just a handful of moments. Alex Wiggins and Carlos Ramos going at it. The Michigan-sponsored Chevy Camaro out in front of Ramos. Ramos trying to work the wheel, trying to get there. He's going to have a nose to the outside at a turn 4 here. Not going to have a big enough run to utilize that great run down the backstretch. We're going to look real quick. Go, Gloop. No, we're going to... You know what? Alex, we love you, bud. We're glad to see you out there on the track week in, week out, but roll tide. It is what it is. 24/7. Let's go. Bama, baby. Roll tide. We ain't going to say nothing else about it. We just going to move on now. Congratulations, though. We'll give you that. Congratulations. All that. Yeah. Let's go check in on some of the biggest movers of the race here tonight. You can see them now. That Harbor Freight's Ford Mustang, front of the field, the 16 of Derek Moore, qualified in the 8th position, up 6 spots. Sitting in 2nd. Great run for him so far. Lap times, he is just a few hundredths of a second faster. Lap in, lap out for the past 7 to 8 laps. Some more slowly reeling Mathia in, but he's got a long way to go. 2.5 seconds behind at this point, 30 laps in. Battle's really going to be right here for that top 5 position for the moment Burlow, Bledsoe, Argabright throwing down for the final spot on the podium. If any of these three drivers make a mistake, I wouldn't count Wiggins or Ramos out on making a move. You could already see the 11 working the bottom of the racetrack. One of the few drivers that I've seen be able to really hug that white line, put those left side tires down there on that white line, and keep it glued down this late in the run. A lot of the drivers a half to whole car length up, almost a full racing line difference. So we'll see if it pays some dividends, if it pays off. Let's take a look now as Carlos Ramos going to go to the top side of the racetrack. 4-4 of Dave Gage going to try his hand at the bottom and hold on to it. Grabbing some big wheel right there. Ramos all sorts of sideways. Handling. Now a problem. We've seen a handful of guys get all sorts of out of shape. This time, latest victim, the 88 of Nick Burlow. The Mobile 1 Ford Mustang with issues. He's going to fall right into the clutches of Alan Bledsoe now. Do we got the onboard guys? Let's go on board here. Gonna make short work. Oh, close there, squeezing out of two. Man, that's close. And now Bledsoe, there it is. That's what we're about to allude to. He's got to now defend against a run from the high side. He's going to get pinched down just a little bit here. You can hear him have to nurse the throttle. Late corner exit, just enough to give that 88 of Burlow the advantage. Argabright going to try his hand at the high side now. Great little look from inside the car. 3 wide. Oh my God, they made that work. Oh boy. Did you... What? He's got fresh tires. He's made a pit stop back on lap 25, so he's got at least 10 lap fresher tires. But did you see the move? And the slide down right in front of Bledsoe. Nerves of steel. That's all I can say right there, because that was a pretty risky move. He got the job done. Going to keep the position, keep heading to the front of the field. Trying to unlap himself the good old-fashioned way. But green flag pit stops are underway. Alex Wiggins onto pit road. Alan Bledsoe going to come to pit road, this time by at a long stay on pit road this time around. For Wiggins, the 11, going to drop 2 laps down. He's going to need help of a caution to get back into the mix of this one. Derek Moore, Nick Burlow going to head to pit road this time around. Meanwhile, race leader Brandon Mathia right here. That quick trip sponsored #1 Chevy Camaro well out and away from the field, up 5 seconds now as we are under our first green flag pit cycle. You'd see the flames at the right side of the car. Telltale sign he's slowing down, coming to pit road. There it is. Hartman going to get himself back on the lead lap. Who's going to stay out, push the issue? And I tell you what, it's going to be Lieutenant Carlos Ramos. Ramos going to stay out on the track, lead a lap here, get that 97 out front of the field. And man, he's going to have to get the rear of the car back underneath him. That's about the third or fourth time we've seen that 97 slideways. That's right, slideways. We don't do sideways, we do slideways. Just saying. More of Daniel Jensen. Where'd he come from? The back. From the front. Started outside pole position, fell deep in the field. And here he is, still maintaining a pretty solid pace, running that high lane. Ooh. Grip a premium right now. Absolute. And these guys would pay for some grip. I mean, the teams kind of did with the tires, but I mean, 3 drivers yet to hit pit road. Race leader Daniel Jensen, Andrew McConville, Brian Tarnowski yet to hit pit lane. There you can see Mathia just unlapping himself. Ooh, way up the racetrack. And Daniel Jensen extending this run here. This is going to be at least 3 laps further than the competition. And looking at it, right, if he comes down pit road this time around, lap 42, crossover to 43, that's going to get him to about 85, 86. He's going to have an extremely short run. Oh, into the outside wall. Easy. Vete. Little bit of a shake up, dust up, mix up with the outside wall for the Epsilon Tequila number 4 of Jensen. But what we were getting to there is he's only gonna have, if he stays true to this strategy, he's only gonna have about a 20 lap run. That's gonna be less than half of a full. Oh! And he's gonna have to bring it to pit road. He is going to have to bring it to pit road next time around, struggling way too much with the grip. At this point in time, he is going to have to bring that Mustang down pit lane. But again, he's going to be able to go all out, absolutely all out at the end of tonight's race. So that's going to be the big mix-up. That's going to be the big to-do for Jensen. We'll see if the strategy pans out. We'll see if it pays off. As we are only 10 laps away from the halfway point, so a very fast-paced race here tonight in the Bankhead 165, brought to you by the SMR Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. If you're in the game and looking for a brand new wrap, you need a new helmet, maybe you gotta get the pit crew looking a little better out there, give them a little pizzazz, or a little maybe you like suits. They've got Sasquatch down there as well. We're not going to get into some of the other aspects as Jensen get a pull to pit lane and come to his first stop of the night. That's going to put the field in the hands of this man. Very early start. Brandon Hartman going to work his way to the front of the field. But if you're in the game for a new wrap, you want to let your car look a little better, you need it to be a little more flashy under the lights. When we hit the track on Saturday nights, look no further than the Hauck Designs. You can find them on Facebook.com. They've got something for everything. Custom paint jobs on anything you can imagine right here on iRacing.com. Once again, Hauck Designs. Short work, forward position. Mathia, 13 lap fresher tires. He's going to do away with that 64 rather easily. Brandon Hartman going to drop now to third as Derek Moore works his way around. So far we've seen one round of green flag pit stops. We've seen a handful of drivers struggle with the corner exit. And no in particular corner either. They've had trouble off the exit of 2. They've had trouble off of the exit of 4. So with the track temperature being well over 110 degrees when we started tonight's race, indeed becoming a factor here late in these long runs. Alan Bledsoe now closing in, and Hartman gonna continue to fall through the field here as his tire wear definitely suffering a lot sooner than the drivers that he's gonna be racing around. But that's what it is about that shortcut, that short pit. Don't want to call it a shortcut, but the short pit. Remember we told you that the 4 of Daniel Jensen would have about a 20-lap run at the end of tonight's race. Well, starting things off on the opposite end of the spectrum with a 25-lap run to start things off was that 64 of Hartman. So he's playing this thing backwards. He's going to run this thing as long as he can from here on out. He's going to have one more stop, and he's going to have to get the job done on pit road. He's going to have to hope that that short pit pans out for him. And these guys don't open up the gaps any more than what they already did during that first green flag stint. 3-car battle here. Hartman, Burlow going at it. You can see there Alex Wiggins involved. Multiple laps down here for Wiggins. Tough break for that number 11 machine. Halfway point, we're going to begin to jump around the track just a little bit. Doug Argabright trying to do away with the national champion sponsored Michigan machine, bottom of the racetrack. Nice clean pass there for Argabright. He's going to close in quickly on the tail end of Hartman. Do away with him on the entry of 3. Look for Argabright to set sail here as that 64 begins to suffer some handling issues and begins to suffer a loss on the speed charts. Last time around, race leader 33.27. Hartman 34.20. A full second slower. Well, not quite a full second, but might as well. Well, I say might as well, but 0.03 of a second, it's a big deal. Mi amigo Daniel Suarez got the race win right here at Atlanta Motor Speedway this season by a margin of 0.03. So, I mean, 0.03, it can be a difference. I mean, it obviously isn't. Never mind. We're not going to go down that rabbit hole. We're just gonna keep things moving. Halfway point here tonight. We're going to start at the front with your driver highlights and spotlights. In tonight's Bankhead 125, right here from Atlanta Motor Speedway with the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. He snatched the Premier Racing Setup Pole Award, sitting in the top spot. He's led the most laps here tonight. Out front, showing the way. Behind the wheel of that quick trip number 1, Brandon Mathia continues to pile on the laps led here tonight from Atlanta. Man sitting in second tonight, Derek Moore in that 16 machine, the Kansas native, up 6 positions from where he qualified. Great run tonight already for that Harbor Freight's Mustang. Into the top 3, rounding out your podium drivers. Alan Bledsoe looking pretty good. Had a big race at the start. 4 positions, fell back to about 6th at one point in time, has worked his way back into the podium positions, back to where he qualified, and Bledsoe sits in 3rd. Nick Burlow right where he qualified here tonight. Burlow quickly moved to 2nd and has since fallen back to 4th. Still a very solid run and a very solid night underway for Burlow behind the wheel of that Mobile 1 machine. And just as we say that, the Hot Wheels number 41 of Doug Argabright looking to bring a little West Coast swing to the southeast with the Hauck Designs Xfinity Series, the 41, looking to catfish his way into the 4th position, but for the moment, Argabright runs and rounds out your top 5. Biggest mover of the race, you ask? Let's hit him up right here, the Orlando native, our good buddy Dave Gage. And you know what? We had an over-under question last week of how many cookies Dave managed to go through. If you remember and recall, I said 5. I was under. Number was 6, so let's hear it out there in the chat. If you're watching out there in TV land, is an over-under night. We're going to have a number to go off of now. Last week it was 6, so are we over or are we under 6 cookies tonight? And if you know, you know. If you don't, you'll find out eventually. I can promise you that. Gage with a great run here tonight, the 404. PR Taco Palace and Margarita Bar. Camaro looking sporty, up 7 positions from 14th to 7th with just a little less than halfway to go here tonight. We're going to find out if Gage has got what it takes to break in to your top 5. Meanwhile, we'll go back to the battle just inside of your top 5 in a short-lived battle now as Argabright get a step away. We're going to drop that timing and scoring back to the left-hand side. So the halfway house cleaning. 17 drivers to the field here tonight to the starting grid. We have still got 16 cars on track, but only 13 left on the lead lap. The 28 of Brian Chernowski is going to have to deal with the race leader, Brandon Bethea, very shortly. Let's go back to the race leader as he's heading back down the backstretch and into turn number 3. And let's see who chooses the low line. Not a lot of drivers willing to run right up next to that white line. We'll find out if that's going to cost them through the course of tonight's race. An absolute great run here tonight. Drivers going to make their way back across the start-finish line. There's race leader coming around lap number 64. Will go on the board. We are well underway here tonight in the Bankhead 165 for the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. No cautions. Second round of green flag pit stops coming up in just a short 10 laps. Is anybody going to hit pit road quicker? Is anybody going to hit pit road sooner? Brandon Hartman, he's already came to pit road back on lap 55. He's staying true to his strategy. We'll see if it ends up being a race-winning strategy. I think it's going to be a long stretch. I think he's going to be there at the end. But I think he's just going to drop off too much. I think the tire fall off is going to be too much for him to maintain the positions. We'll see if he is able to prove me wrong. I've been wrong a handful of times here. But we'll see if that strategy is indeed that race-winning strategy. Meanwhile, let's go back here. We haven't had a chance to talk about McConville very much here tonight. Been a quiet night for the man behind the wheel of that Casey's General Store, number 10. Here he is. About 20 laps after the first round of green flag pit stops, slowly making his way now inside of the top 10, up 6 positions as he takes the spot away from Dofing in that 13 Maverick machine. So a good solid night underway here for McConville. What do we got going on up front, guys? Let's go back here. Alan Bledsoe, Doug Argerbright. Familiar faces, familiar places, huh? These two, almost inseparable here tonight. Chevy versus Toyota. Back down the backstretch, keeping it wound up top of the speedway, and I wonder if that's Bledsoe's way of maybe trying to feed that 41 a little bit of dirty air. I'm not sure that's what you want to do because the 41 closed right in on you. Now looking to the inside, cross the stripe, drag race down into one. Argerbright with the advantage on the bottom. Short-lived advantage on the bottom of the racetrack for Argerbright. He's going to have to tuck back in line going into turn 3. Now dips back down to the bottom of the racetrack. Good run through the center of the corner. Not quite going to be enough. Look for that high side to prevail. Back across the stripe, and yeah, still unable to complete the pass for position. Argerbright back down to the bottom in 1. And just look how tough it is to pass. Man, Argerbright all over Bledsoe right now. Just unable to get that run off of the corner that he needs to complete that pass. If you want to throw a slide job, number 1, you better make sure you clear. Because if you don't, you're going to hook yourself head on into that outside wall. So while everybody loves to see a clean, an amazing, a close, a tight slide job for a pass, it can be an absolute disaster if not executed properly. And not only are you going to find yourself out of the race, but more than likely the driver you're trying to make the pass on is going to be joining you on pit road. And we've seen wrenches and drive shafts and all sorts of things flying on pit road before. So, you gotta walk that fine line. Ooh, walking a fine line. With that dirt here behind, you can see the 41 get a little light on that right rear. A little bit of a wiggle there for Argerbright. Andrew McConville now going to head to pit road. We've got another battle inside of your top 10. Let's go here. Daniel Jensen, top of the racetrack. Zach Miller, the U.S. Army. Sideways sponsored Supra. Going to fall back to the 9th position. Daniel Jensen still trying to work that strategy. Still trying to work the much fresher tires into his advantage. See how he continues to go here. We'll go back to the battle for the final spots on the podium here tonight. Race leader Brandon Mathia, he's checked out. Unless he trips over his own toes, Mathia may very well walk away with this thing. Alan Bledsoe going to pull the pit road. That's going to put an end to that fight. Bledsoe said, you know what, I'm done with it. Coming to pit road, getting these fresh tires, and I'm going to carry this thing to the end from here. We told you about lap 75 is when you could expect that second round of green flag pit stops. Lo and behold, here we go. More to pit road. Race leader Brandon Mathia going to stay out on the racetrack. 35 laps to go next time around. Want to give a huge shout out to all of the sponsors here this season that make things go around, that keep this thing coming to you week in, week out. First and foremost, big shout out to Hauck Designs on board once again as the title series sponsor. An amazing job, an amazing group over there putting in some hard work on some fresh paints. If you're in the market, be sure to check them out. That's Hauck Designs. Huge shout out as well to Premier Racing Setups, the longest running racing setup shop on iRacing.com. There's a reason for it. If you're looking for the edge over your competition, look no further than Premier Racing Setups. You can find a link to their website right down in the description. Once again, sponsoring the Pole Award this season. That's Premier Racing Setups. Where would we be if we didn't mention Butt Kicker, perennial sponsor here on the Turn 3 Racing Network? Big shout out to everyone back at Butt Kicker. Their haptic transducers produce all the power you need to put the feeling beneath your feet. The future is feeling. Butt Kicker, feel what you've been missing. Arga Bright to pit road behind the wheel of that Hot Wheels number 41 machine. That's going to cycle things back over to this four of Daniel Jensen. Jensen takes control of the race lead once again. Look for him to stay out another 6 to 7 laps here. Also want to give a big time shout out to the best American bully breeders in Western North Carolina. You can find them on Instagram, X, as well as Facebook.com. That's Mountain Mafia Kennels. If you're in the market for a new pup, if you're looking for a lifetime companion, one that is just a phenomenal breed, if you don't know about American Bullies, look into them. Look into Mountain Mafia Kennels, champion bloodlines right here in the mountains of Western North Carolina. Once again, that's Mountain Mafia Kennels. So there you go, sponsors out of the way. We're going to get one last thing out before we finish off the second and final green flag pit cycle. If you haven't already, show these drivers some love and appreciation. 80 laps of green flag racing here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Bankhead 165. 80 laps of green flag racing at the old, worn out Atlanta. Grinding tires, lap after lap. These guys have put on an absolute master class of racing here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. So be sure before I can spit it out. I promise. Sometimes the brain works better than my tongue, but never mind. Be sure before you go, drop these guys that thumbs up. All right, here we go. Less than 30 to go. Daniel Jensen out front, showing the way, but only leads by 16 seconds. He has still got to come to pit road for a final time. Brendan Mathia For all intents and purposes, Matthias should be able to get to the end. It is going to be a little close. He may have to save a little fuel, but he will have enough to get to the end. Derek Moore also going to easily get to the end. Alan Bledsoe, Nick Burlow, Doug Argabright, Carlos Ramos, Dave Gage, last driver listed on the lead lap. They will all have enough fuel to get to the end, but let's go here. Let's go back to the battle for second and third right now, because we've seen Matthias with a 5-second advantage before the round of green flag pit stops. Look here, look here. Not no more. 1.3 second advantage now for Matthias over Moore. Another 1.3 seconds back to Alan Bledsoe. Alan Hartman's strategy has gone awry. The 64 Super gonna head to pit road for a third time. And that's what we gotta ask ourselves. Are these other drivers gonna be able to make it, or are they gonna have to stop for that third time? We're under the impression that they can make it on two stops. They went about 43, 45 laps on that opening stint. Another 40 laps, that's, right here. They should have enough fuel. They should have enough fuel. Now the gap beginning to open up from Matthias back to Moore was 1.3, now 1.7 across the stripe. Matthias beginning to walk away once again. Derek Moore sitting in third, Alan Bledsoe in fourth, and Nick Burlow rounds out your top five here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway with 25 to go. And now that I'm looking at it, 25 to go right here. They last pitted, 75. The math, you know what I mean? I know that sounds funny. I know that may be an odd saying, but the math works, right? So for all intents and purposes, these drivers will have enough fuel to get to the end. And the advantage for Jensen quickly going away. He was last to pit road, back on lap 45. He's going to have at least 20 more laps to go here. After his green flag pit stop. I don't know. Guys, can we find some battles? Let's go back here to Argabright. 41 of Doug Argabright. All over Burlow for the moment. That's going to be 5th and 6th for the time being. Still awaiting Daniel Jensen to pit road. The 28 machine of Tarnowski just off in front of him. Brian Tarnowski listed one lap down to that 12th position after a very long green flag pit cycle. We've been cleaning green all night long here tonight, working our way around the track. 90 laps of green flag action here from Atlanta Motor Speedway in the American Sim Motor Racing Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. It doesn't get much better than this. 90 laps at Atlanta with no problems. I mean, we've seen drivers struggle with grip. but we haven't seen any big problems. We haven't seen any big slides. We haven't seen any big issues of drivers pulling landscaping duty. Clean and clear on pit road as well. It's an amazing job by all of these drivers as the 4 is going to head to pit road. Brandon Mathia got to go back to the point and back to the race lead with only 19 laps to go this time by. Field doesn't have very much longer before they're going to have to figure something out here. We'd love to get on some of the radios. We do have some official radio channels, but we don't want to bring out any insider information by going to the team channels. But we are listening, and most of these drivers are on the fence. Most of them questioning. Do we have enough fuel? Are you sure we have enough fuel? Am I good to go now? And what that tells me, the question of, am I good to go now? Means these guys have been a little bit conservative on the front end of this third green flag run. Trying to build a bit of a buffer with the fuel mileage to go hard at the end. He's been going hard in the paint all night long, man. Flagship car tonight. That quick trip Chevy Camaro has been blazing fast. Fast and Happy Hour snatched the Premier Racing Setup Pole Award with a quick time in qualifying. He's led the most laps here tonight. Oh, and we got late troubles. Caution will fly. Caution will fly. Oh no. We're looking and it looks like Doping is slow on the track, but I don't believe that's it. Let's go see what happened here. Oh, there it is. Trouble. Trouble for Patrick Coro. Oh, and the 28 of Tarnowski, nowhere to go. Trying to find a lane, trying to find a way around, and unable to get around. Let's take one more look at it here. Big slide, trying to save the car the entire way down the backstretch and just up the racetrack. And that is a tough hit. Well, the David Cave Turn 3 sponsored Camaro, well, it gets its TV time, not for the right time, but TV time nonetheless. Race leaders down pit road, big change. Here at the end, we're going to have less than 15 to go when we go back green flag racing. We're going to take an opportunity to fit in some quick sponsor breaks, pay a few bills. Don't go anywhere. Race fans, will be back with all your green flag action live from Atlanta Motor Speedway. And welcome back trackside high above here at Atlanta Motor Speedway with the Turn 3 drone cam for just our first restart of the night. That's right, we went over 85, over 90 laps of green flag racing before we seen our first trouble of the night. It's going to be a short track field now. You gotta go. You gotta get everything you can on this restart. When we see it compound into further problems, will we see cautions breed cautions? There's your field for the lineup. Side by side back into 4. We're going to have ourselves some great late race action. Mathia and more on the front row for the restart. Argo, Bright, and Bledsoe back in row 2. Hungry drivers in row 3. Pace car in the restart zone, and on the gas. Green flag flies once again here in Atlanta. Big run to the bottom of the racetrack in 1-4 more, and he's going to snatch the race lead, looking to wash up, not going to get there. Big slide job by Bledsoe, crossover coming from Argo Bright. Race lead still under fire. More bottom of the racetrack, trying to work the wheel. He'll walk up the racetrack right in front of Mathia and take the race lead away rightfully for the first time here tonight. New race leader under green flag, and we got a caution. Trouble on the track. Trouble on the track, and there you can see 2 drivers leaving the scene. Andrew Shook gonna be involved in this one. Let's see, guys, do you got that one? Looking there, shaking their heads, and we're gonna go back to this one. Let's see what happened. Looks like we're gonna catch it a little bit late, guys. Roll it back a little more. There you go. Trouble on that high side, and just contact from the 10. The Sims had violent defense. The 21 of Anthony Shook. Around and packing. Look at that rear deck line just bouncing away. That is going to be some big time damage late in the going here tonight. 3 wide under caution. We've got some racing action, guys. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Back under caution quickly here. Caution number 2. At lap 100. We're going to have less than 10 to go. We're going to refire this thing, I believe, with 7 laps remaining in tonight's Bankhead 165 for the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. More with an amazing pass. It was the first time we seen anybody rightfully get by that one without a green flag pit cycle being involved. Outright drove around that one of Mathia, who has been the measuring stick, who has been the bar in the field here tonight. Which lane now will Moore pick? He grabbed the race lead from the inside of the racetrack. Will he elect to restart on the bottom when we get back to the green flag? Argo Bright seen a big slide job at a Bledsoe in 1 and 2. Will that be weighing on the mind of Argo Bright as he enters the corner? Burlow right here behind. How about Lieutenant Carlos Ramos? You can see him right there to 97. He's going to restart in the 6th position. So he's going to have a great opportunity. It looks like we're going to have 6 to go. Field getting the peace sign this time around, so 2 more laps around before we go back racing. Man, well, I know we say do cautions breed cautions. An amazing green flag run to open things up here tonight. Will this be the final time that we see the caution flag fly? Will these Xfinity Series drivers be able to get around without any more trouble? Trying to be fast as Xfinity 5G is that 16 machine of Derek Moore shot out of a cannon on our latest restart. He's going to have to repeat the process on this one, as the control car might have a little bit of an advantage. We're going to grab the popcorn, because business is about to pick up. So with our latest caution here tonight, 17 cars to the starting grid here tonight. Only one now make that 2 official retirements. We have still got 14 drivers on the track. We're going to see if we finish it off with those numbers. Only 11 left on the lead lap. Field double file out of 2 pace car lights are out, and Joshua Norwood will get out the way and bring that pace car back down pit road. Front row, mirror image of our early restart. Will Moore be able to produce the magic again? We're fitting to find out as the field works out of 4. We're going to work our way to the Geico restart zone. And away we go. Green flag flies as Moore nails that loud pedal. We're going to get back underway. Tight racing across the line. Moore with the advantage down into 1. Moore with the advantage out of 1. Field grouped up here at the front. All the positions up for grabs. Big move now by Mathia. Mathia going to move to the bottom of the racetrack. Look for the race lead. Not quite going to have the run. Argo Bright takes it in. Down on the bottom. Mathia drifts up almost in to that left rear quarter. The 16 of Derek Moore out front showing the way. 1 car length advantage back into 1. Big push from Argo Bright. On the tail end of that quick trip, number 1 machine, Alan Bledsoe packing it around the high side. Horsepower move. Big power move there by Bledsoe. He's going to secure the 3rd spot. Now look for 2nd. Hornet's Nest for the final positions inside of the podium here. Late in the going, the Bankhead 165. We've got 4 laps to go. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, all over each other. First place, not too. Whoa, big moment there. Alan Bledsoe squeezing that 24 in. Was almost a big problem. Working at a 4, back across the stripe. 3 laps to go here from Atlanta. A lot of great racing action here after a late race caution. Group the field back up. 1, 2, 3 on the racetrack. Just about a second separating 1st through 3rd. 4th in the mix. 5th place runner Doug Argabright running the high side of that Hot Wheels 41 Toyota Supra. Back across the stripe. Popsicle stakes on display. Only 3 miles of racing remain The bankhead 125 now searching for the race lead once again, peeking to the high side. Ooh, Argabright sideways. Mathia a little sideways. We're going to keep the timing and scoring out of the way as we cross the line this time around. Boss man in the flag stand. White flag in hand. Final lap here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway for the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. Just 4 corners for more to get to victory lane. Brandon Mathia charging hard attitude, but he's going to have a huge run down the backstretch. 2-car length advantage. Moore secures a good run through 3. Mathia gives it all he's got. It's not going to get there. And walking away with his first win of the season. What a run for Derek Moore to make that late race pass to grab the top spot away from a dominating driver here tonight and walk away with the race win. That was the winning move of the race. 2 laps to get the pass completed, and he didn't give up that position for the rest of the night. An amazing job for the man behind the wheel of that Harbor Freight's number 16 machine. The Wichita, Kansas native gonna celebrate here tonight in Atlanta. So as Moore enjoys a post-race smoke show, he's going to burn it down for all the fans in the stands. We're going to step away for a brief commercial break, get things set up and ready to go for your post-race interview, so don't go anywhere, race fans. We'll be right back. and backtrack side at the conclusion of tonight's Bankhead 165, brought to you by the ASMR Hauck Designs Xfinity Series. What a run, what a race we had here tonight, opening things up with 90 laps of green flag action, 2 quick cautions at the end, with a pass being made that determined the race win. Just an amazing night, an amazing race, and we're going to dive right into things, and we're going to see if we can catch up and have a few words with some of these drivers that walked away on the podium here tonight. Let's see if we can dial up the man behind the wheel of that fast forward Mustang. Nick, it's Dave. You got us?
Yeah, I got you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. But great race, great run for you. You finished one spot in front of where you're qualified here tonight. So a lot of speed behind the wheel of that Mobil 1 machine. How did it feel out there tonight? And do you think there's anything you may have been able to do a little different on those final 2 restarts?
I think I did pretty well in those restarts. I think I started 5th in both of them and ended up 3rd. So I think I did about what I could. More and Theo are pretty good up there, so I'm very content finishing 3rd behind them. So yeah, overall it was pretty good.
Well, man, a great run, a great points night here tonight at Atlanta. The tire wear, very, very key here at Atlanta. We're going to hit a big wide open track next week when we go to Pocono. Is there anything you may be able to take from here and apply there to try to have just as good of a run?
Here I was too easy on my tires early in the run. I was faster than the people in front of me later in the run, but I didn't have enough time. The runs weren't quite as long, so maybe not be as easy at the beginning of a run. Try and push it a little bit more so I don't lose so much ground. But we'll see. It's a whole nother track, whole nother ball game there. So got to see how practice feels.
Absolutely. Well, Nick, again, congratulations with a great points day here tonight in the Bankhead 165. So, again, congratulations on the podium finish. Before we let you go, would you like to give any shout outs, thank yous, love yous?
I'll just give a shout out to the whole league. It's always fun other than those few cautions toward the end. It was pretty clean racing. So I just appreciate the whole league for that, and obviously a shout out to Ed Hawk for the amazing paint schemes I'm always running from him. So always
Well,
on point.
well, Nick, again, congratulations on the great run here tonight. And we'll see if we get the opportunity to catch up with you next week at Pocono. But until then, my friends, stay safe, and as always, keep it fast.
Sounds good. Have a good night.
All right, there you have it. Final few words from the man that walks away 3rd here tonight. Nick Burlow going to pilot that Mobil 1 machine home to a 3rd place finish tonight. That's going to move us right along the list to a man that I know he's going to be happy he's talking to us. Not so sure he's going to be happy about when he's talking to us. Walked away with the pole award here tonight, led the vast majority of the race. Brandon, this has got to be a tough one to swallow, but still a great points day for you here tonight. How you feeling, bud?
Not good. That sucks. To go out there and dominate really the majority of the race and then lose it because of a restart where you spin your tires and just lose position, and then a quick caution follows that, and then you have to try to dig for like the last 8 laps. And I was catching them, and I just lost it out of 2 with 2 to go. I might have had a run there. Definitely sucks. What it's gonna take to put this in victory lane.
Yeah, man, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm trying to rub salt in the wounds, man, but you did have the field covered. You were the measuring stick of tonight's race, man. Class of the field. I know you got to be a little down and dejected with not being able to pull off the race win. A well-deserving race win just kind of slipped away from you, but that's why we run all these laps, and I'm sure it's not going to be the last time that you're in position. So, how easily are you going to be able to put this one behind you and focus on Pocono next week?
I'll probably be over by in the morning. Usually when I don't perform to the level I want, I don't watch the broadcast, so I'm gonna ponder on that. But yeah, hopefully I'll probably be over it by the morning, and then I'll be ready to go by next Wednesday. But just finishing second 2 weeks in a row definitely sucks a little bit. I know points wise, I'm gonna be looking really good probably first, but just I'm really competitive, and especially leading as many laps, over what probably close to 75% of the race were led by me. So just yeah, it just sucks no matter how points look. Um,
Well, man, we understand and we feel you. Our hearts do go out to you, man, on this one. You, you had it. You truly did. But we don't want to continue to rub salt in the wounds or anything like that. So before we let you go here tonight, would you like to give any final shout outs, thank yous, love yous?
yeah, absolutely. First, Derek for the win. He's we're both Kansas boys, so I guess I couldn't get it done. At least a person from Kansas got it done. So cool. You for the broadcast, you always do a great job. When I do, when I do go back and look at them. So anybody watching that I sent the link to watch, my teammates. I really just had one tonight in chat with me, Alan, and then I had a spotter / crew chief, Matthew. So shout out to him. Wish him the best of luck on Road to Pro tomorrow, and just gonna try to get out there and put this in victory lane next week, hopefully.
Well, Brendan, always a class act and always a pleasure to talk to you, man. Again, congratulations on the great run. That win is right around the corner. We're going to talk to you in victory lane here very soon, I can assure you that. But until then, my friend, stay safe and keep it fast.
Awesome, thank you.
All right, there you have it. A little bit of, well, let's just call it like we upset. I don't want to necessarily say sad, but dejected. Brendan Mathia led more than 75-80% of tonight's race, and just late race caution was unable to seal the deal. And Mathia will cross the line in second here tonight. And that's going to move us to a much different celebration. A much different post-race interview. Derek Moore sitting in victory lane behind the wheel of that Harbor Freight. Machine Man, you got to be happy with the race win. How you feeling, bud?
Oh, I'm ecstatic. That was a tough race. Firstly, shout out to Brennan Mathia. That dude, he had this baby wrapped up. He was the guy to beat all race. Late caution definitely spoiled his party a little bit. But we had a good race there at the end, so I appreciate that. And like he had a great run, so he can hang his head high. And yeah, dude, that was a tough race. That was a tough race.
Well, man, this being just race number 2 into season number 9, you already got a check mark in that winners column. Does it give you any confidence moving forward in these next handful of weeks? I mean, we're gonna hit Pocono and then off to Daytona to finish off this month. But can you look forward from there? What about Kern County, a newer track on the schedule here in the Hauck Designs Xfinity Series? So with this race win in your back pocket, how are you feeling about the rest of the year?
The short tracks and the mile and a halfs I feel good about. Pocono, kind of wild card. I've never raced a stock car around there on here. And then Daytona, I'll get wrecked out. That's just bound to happen. So, I don't know. Just want to get past Daytona, and then really settle into the groove of the season and see what I can do. Kern County, I've heard good things from this group. They did some test races there. I wasn't able to make them. They had a good time, and I think there's a couple of other new tracks that we've got coming up that are going to be pretty good. But yeah, I don't know. It's nice to get a win early. I don't have to have that in the back of my mind for the rest of the season. Too bad there's not a chase and I could be locked in already. But I'll definitely take the win early. It's going to really help with confidence and peace of mind for the rest of the season.
Well, you got a lot of people waiting to celebrate with you behind us here on the stage. So, Derek, before we let you go and enjoy the rest of the night with this race win, would you like to give any final shout outs, thank yous, love yous?
Firstly, thank you for broadcasting. Thank the ASMR admins putting this deal on. Thank my teammates. Andy had a fun little strategy that was going his way throughout the race until he sped on pits and got a penalty and messed him up. Um, my go-kart season's about to kick off here in a little over a week now. So hopefully we can repeat our championship on that. And yeah, just looking forward to get race season going and really get in the groove of things.
Well, man, we wish you the best both on and off track in both of your racing endeavors. Again, congratulations on the race win. We'll see how you go about things next week at Pocono, and you already told us what to expect at Daytona, so we won't even bother with that one. But man, congratulations! Great job on that restart to snatch the race lead and then seal the deal with a great restart of your own, Derek. Congratulations. Until we see you again, my friend, stay safe, and as always, keep it fast.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, there you have it. Derek Moore, happy, content with the race win, gave all respect and props to Mathia for leading and dominating here tonight, but the end of the day, this is why we race every lap. A late race caution changed the dynamic, changed the face of the front of this field. Derek Moore pulls an amazing pass on the restart to grab the race lead. He didn't look back from there, and he walks away with the race win. My goodness, what an amazing job here tonight. From all of the drivers, over 90 laps of green flag action here tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway. You can't ask for much more. You hear the familiar sounds. You know it's time for us to run down tonight's unofficial race results in the Bankhead 125. Walking away with his first race win of the season behind the wheel of that Harbor Freight Tools number 16 machine, Derek Moore to victory lane. Your Premier Racing Setup Pole Award winner, most laps led along with the fastest lap here tonight, Brendan Mathia, will fall just short and settle for second. Final podium spot here tonight belongs to Nick Burlow with Alan Bledsoe behind in fourth. Fifth place to Doug Argabright. Sliding home in sixth here from Atlanta Motor Speedway, Lieutenant Carlos Ramos. Biggest mover of the night behind the wheel of that 404, PR Taco Palace and Margarita Bar, Chevy Camaro. Dave Gage gonna walk away with 7th. 8th place tonight belongs to Daniel Jensen with Jake Dunphy finishing in 9th, rounding out your top 10. Behind the wheel of that U.S. Army number 38 machine, Zach Miller. Anthony Shook gonna come home in 11th. 12th tonight from Atlanta Motor Speedway is Brandon Hartman. Patrick Coro gonna finish in 13th. 14th place tonight to the 11 of Alex Wiggins. Andrew McConville going to slide home 15th. Turnowski back in 16th and finishing out the 17-car field. The 99 of Nicholas Wing. Well, that's your race results. That's going to do it for us. We're going to begin to cut off the lights and roll up the cords and get ready to go north to the hometown of Turn 3 Racing Network. We're going to head up to Pocono Raceway. Get ready for some fast action at the Tricky Triangle coming at you next week, right here on the Turn 3 Racing Network. An amazing job, an amazing night, an amazing race. Before you go, if you haven't already, remember to join us in that push to 4,000 subscribers. Show these drivers some love, drop the thumbs up, click subscribe, smash the bell. over there on the right-hand side. Get notified anytime we go live here on the Turn 3 Racing Network, whether it's myself, Dave in the cave, or anybody else back at the headquarters. We appreciate each and every one of you, each and every time you stop by, whether you're sliding in to say hey, or you are one of our dedicated fans, friends, family, and many sponsors. We appreciate each and every one of you. Without you, there would be no us. So with that being said, stay safe, stay loved, my friends, and until next time, we'll meet you in Turn 3.